Well, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey, everybody, Cantonese Cat. I'm going to go through a few stocks here, but before I do, I just want to basically do a little bit of shameless self-promotion here. If you want to join us as a YouTube member, and this is only really available on Android and Chrome, just a few bucks a month, I'll priority my response to you. And if you want to do any kind of chart requests, I'll try and fulfill them as much as I can. And maybe about once a week or so, I try to do some private video content. But anyway, just a little bit of a shameless promotion here. I'm gonna go back to Palantir here. Bullish cross on Ichimoku Cloud on the monthly, and it's worked out very, very well. Right now, you had price kind of riding up the Tenkan, and this is very much a bull market behavior. And the bull market, it basically flipped the Tenkan from resistance over here as support, and it's been riding it up. So far, the monthly RSI is really not that overheated. It's still underneath 70. I still think this thing has a lot more room to go, and it can potentially go up a lot higher over time because it may be breaking, and I'm going to show you some of the levels here. I think it might be breaking the resistance here, and it looks like it wants to potentially start running. So this bullish crossover here is working out. This rising three methods with big giant candle over here with three non-committal selling candles over here on relatively pathetic volume over here compared to this over here has worked out. The bears have a chance to try and bring the stock down for 3 months in a row. They're not able to. The bulls are taking over now. This thing overall, it's been waiting for the Bollinger Band to expand on the monthly, and it's expanding so far. So because of that, there's not really any reason to think that it's not going to go up higher because the Bollinger Band is probably going to end up continuing to expand over time. Right now, it's a little bit of the top part of the Bollinger Band, so you're going to see price, you're not going to see like 5, 10, 15% moves or anything like that probably anytime soon, and if you do, you might end up having some pretty significant correction back at the gravitate back towards the upper Bollinger Band here. So we were still waiting for the band to expand for the price to go higher, but so far so good, right? A couple other things to look at Palantir too. One thing would be if you look at the weekly time frame here, and I think it's very important to look at the weekly time frame. First of all, I'm going to turn off the volume here. I'm going to turn off the RSI here. It's not really giving me any additional information. But if you look at what is happening here, you see that price has been stuck at this range over here. And the Fibonacci level, to be exact, and this is not like an exact Fibonacci level. I mean, I didn't draw it perfectly or anything like that. But so far, price over here in 2020, 2021 has been stuck between the 0.618 and the 0.382, right? And so far, we've had price stuck between the 0.618 and 0.382 here, again, for really almost half a year, right? What have we done so far? We broke above that Fibonacci level this week, but we broke above the 0.618. Got rejected a few weeks ago, got rejected last week. So far, we're breaking above that. And look over here, we're at a new range over here. We end up closing the candle above the 0.618 level over here. We broke above this range over here that's been going sideways for about a whole year. We've also broken above this volume shelf over here too, and there's really not a whole lot of trading volume over here as resistance. So we might be having a stock that would be at some kind of escape velocity. Is going to go a lot higher. Now, you're still going to end up having some resistance, right? For example, where did I find some potential resistance? Well, around 35, 36 range. I can totally see price just kind of go up to the fork up here around 36. Maybe as soon as next month, maybe by the end of the year, I can see it doing that. And I can still see that being a resistance level because you do have a little bit of price history over here back in 2021. After that, maybe backtest the channel, maybe backtest back around 30 before going up higher. That's entirely possible. I have, my friend A on X is basically saying when Palantir likes to stuck between $5 ranges, and it's like a trader's heaven. I don't know whether or not that's going to last. Once it breaks about 30, 35, it might enter some escape velocity, and RSI, on a monthly RSI might enter some pretty crazy levels, and it might just keep going because we have so many opportunities here for accumulation, and there's been a lot of institutions that's been buying, and you just have a big giant bullish engulfing candle that engulf pretty much several months of price action over here. So there is something to be said. I think you still have to be realistic. Some people are still going to probably set 35, 36. You do have to be realistic, and you can correct all the way back down, right? Back test this level over here. But I do think that this is a very, very bullish development for Palantir, and I'm going to hold on to my dear life and I'm not going to do much about it. If you ask me where Palantir is going to go, I would tell you where I think it's going to go. I think in 3 to 5 years or so, it probably hit 1.618 or 2.618 Fibonacci level, anywhere from like 2026, 2028, somewhere around there. I think these levels up here, based on both technicals and fundamentals, I think it's probably going to end up hitting these levels, and it's a pretty significant gain from here on out. Maybe you're talking about maybe like 2 or 3x, in 3 to 5 years, and it's not bad. If it surprises me and goes up a lot higher, great, but that's not my expectation. I mean, price is like $6 back just less than 2 years ago. So do I think that it's going to go to like, like 1,000 or something? Like, no. I think the realistic target is probably going to be around like 1.612 and 618, since we do have a very, very strong bull trend here going. Right now, those are my thoughts for Palantir. This is my biggest stock position, and I have really been DCAing for a very, very long time, and this has been a great journey for me. And so I'm going to keep holding on. If I end up hitting some of these levels over here, I might take 20-30% profits. If it ends up hitting these levels. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. Right? Next thing you know, just company collapses and drop. I mean, I have a hard time seeing that happening, but economy goes bad, black swan events, Palantir is no longer needed for some reason, but I don't, anyway, whatever. But that's Palantir. Look at CrowdStrike. Where do I think CrowdStrike is at? Do I think CrowdStrike is bottom? I think CrowdStrike is bottom. Why do I think that is? It's found a good volume shelf support over here. It's like the biggest volume shelf that there is for CrowdStrike ever since its IPO. And you're really talking about not just that, but you also look at the monthly Ichimoku cloud. No, sorry, that was the Super Ichi. That's why it's weird. You look at a monthly Ichimoku cloud, where did it bounce from? It bounced from the leading span A, which is the beginning of the Ichimoku cloud over here. The Ichimoku cloud is not mature yet. It's going to mature in around 2025, late 2025. It's not mature yet. It's beginning of a cloud, but it came back, bounced, very, very strong support with confluence right at this big giant volume shelf over here. So I think that that's probably the bottom for CrowdStrike, around like $200. It's also a very good psychological level here as well, right? So I think that's probably it. If you look at it weekly, it also looks like it had a little bit of a breakdown underneath and just kind of back tested. Right now, the problem with CrowdStrike is right now, you do have a little bit of negative katana here, which means that you're going to have some, strong resistance here. You're also inside the cloud. So you're probably going to end up having some resistance up above, maybe around like 266 or maybe over maybe like 280 the next week or two or so, somewhere around here. But these are going to, like around 300 is going to be a pretty strong resistance level over here too, right? So I can see price potentially gravitate around the top of the cloud, maybe getting rejected, trying to back test the volume shelf over here. Right now you're also at a volume shelf resistance level here too, right? So you have to be a little bit too careful about being too bullish, because you're on a lot of resistance levels here above. But do I think it's bottom over here in 200? It looks like so. If it hasn't, again, technical analysis is not absolute. If it hasn't, then it's a good guess. I think it's a very, very good educated guess. Like just looking at how the volume shelf is over here, looking at how the Ichimoku cloud is right there, I think it's a pretty good guess that it's already bounced. If you bought at 200, you already have made like 25% gain, which is obviously that you'd be able to time the bottom, but it's not easy to do. Now, another thing, I also think that CrowdStrike is also too many crap thing here. I'm going to turn off the ribbon here. Another thing I also think CrowdStrike is also bottom is because it also bounced from the 20-month moving average, and it's still rising. This is still a bull trend. Price is simply put in like 12 green candles here in a row without any kind of correction. You're getting punished for it, and it's finding some pretty decent support. It looks like bull trend wants to continue. I am not bearish on CrowdStrike, but I do see a lot of resistance here that it needs to break above before bullish continuation. So that's CrowdStrike. Snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Where did snow go to bottom? I don't know. It looks like a Wyckoff. It looks like this might be the spring. Who knows? Looks like a very big, like nice hammer bottom candle, but I also thought that it looks like a nice hammer bottom over here, right? Hammer bottom, maybe another couple hammer bottoms over here. I don't know, right? Right now it's still a falling knife. It's touching it, like it got a little bit way overextended underneath the monthly Bollinger Band, and it had a very, very nice, basically recovery from that. But it still made a lower low compared to over here, and there's still no confirmation that it has bottomed. So I'm a little bit more cautious with it. Look at the Ichimoku cloud. You're about to get a bearish cross over here pretty soon. So again, like there are things that are a little bit more concerning about this stock that I am just not, able to really get into it. Even looking at the 20-month moving average, is still relatively flat, but it's a little bit negative sloping, right? So that's also going to serve a little bit of a resistance here. You might have a little bit of opportunity cost, even if this is the bottom. You might have a little bit of opportunity cost over here for the next really like half a year to a year. Something to think about. If it bounced strong, great. I'll be very happy for the snowflake holders. Initially, this looks like an ascending triangle, but it broke down very, very viciously. So it's unfortunate. I don't know if I want to enter stock at, it just keeps on forming lower low. I probably leave this one alone. I have this one. This is Cloudflare. I have a small position. It looks like this the Bitcoin miners really. It's just been going sideways, make like a flag over here. Like trend overall is up. Look at the 20-month, it's pointing up, found support over here, no problem, right? Looking at Ichimoku Cloud, had a little bullish cross over here, high support here at the Kijun, still stuck in a range, maybe potentially before it hits the cloud over here again in triple digits over the next few months. I can totally see it going back to the monthly cloud, the leading span A over here. By the end of the year, I can totally see it being a triple digit stock. I think this correction has been doing what it needs to be done, back test the levels down here, and it did a very great job. Looks like we held, and I think we're going to get rewarded for it. That's really it. So I mean, like, if you, I'm not going to keep like any crazy targets, but if you want me to, I think like maybe the next 3 to 5 years, I really do see this being like maybe like 3, 4, 500 potentially. That I really do see that. So call me crazy. DraftKings, I have a small position in this. It's not looking that great. We'll see that there are 2 more months before the candle close. The one positive thing is this bounce from the 20-month moving average is very positive sloping. So that's one good thing going for it. One bad thing going for it is that it's initially I thought it was going to be, entering the cloud over here, but it ended up getting rejected from the cloud still. So we're still outside the cloud. But right now we're kind of stuck in a range between the tank and the Kijun. We had a bullish cross. So we'll see. I mean, I just needed to go sideways and enter the cloud, maybe even test the bottom of the cloud over here before going higher. It's still a bull trend, higher highs, higher lows. This is just another higher low. So I have nothing against CrowdStrike, both in terms of like the moving average and in terms of the monthly Ichimoku. Let me see if I put the weekly here. We're trying to break back into the weekly Ichimoku cloud over here. So you're still going to be a little bit of resistance up here around the 30s, like mid 30s, high 30s zone. You're still going to end up having some resistance. Price will probably end up going sideways here for another couple of months before you even be able to break back above. And of course, there's no guarantee that this is going to be the bottom, but on the monthly trend, like it is hitting a lot of like good support over here in terms of the tank and also in terms of a rising 20-month moving average, right? So I'm still relatively bullish on this stock. I'm not worried about it. I think it's still a hold for me. I still think that this probably would end up going higher, but you might end up having a little bit more sideways for another couple of months, work things out before doing that. We'll see, right? Obviously, the fundamentals have to hold. It's not. I mean, obviously, like if you have an ascending triangle here, fundamental has to hold, right? Snowflake just hasn't really kept up their growth rate that they promised, and it just plummeted. DraftKings, so far so good. I really have a hard time seeing them, their business model not doing well. But I just want to spend some time talking about 5 stocks. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.